What's up, traders? Matt from the Trade Brigade here doing a technical analysis on ticker symbol MMAT for Metamaterials Inc. On the left-hand side, we have the daily time frame, and on the right-hand side, the 30-minute intraday time frame. Obviously, this will be a bit of an update. We cover it regularly on the channel, and the main thing to talk about is kind of this fake break that we saw on Friday's session. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not like we wound up here back at the bottom end of the range, but as we'll talk about in a second here on the 30-minute, very interesting pattern developing right about here. So, what else are we seeing from the daily? Not a whole lot, right? Basically, as we discussed, it was just that, a fake break here. It should have, or at least, in terms of what we look for ideal scenarios, and the market doesn't have to do anything, as we know. But in an ideal world, we would have closed back above this $5.38 mark, noting that we had that as the prior day's high, and we did technically get a breakout above. Let's take a look at the 30-minute now and see how this move actually unfolded. So you can see here, strong out of the gates, right? Look at that. Nice movement to the upside, even started to consolidate and kind of respect, as we were talking about, that $5.38 mark. So to me, it looked like we were putting in a bit of a bull flag. Obviously, that crumbled into the afternoon, and this puts into play now, what is this pattern, right? If we look at this, and this now, I just drew a head and shoulders, right? So technically, we're taking the breakdown of the neckline here for lower. Now, are you actually going to short this metamaterials? If we come on over to the trade tab, it's not going to show because it's the weekend. Probably hard to borrow. And the put contracts over here, not the most attractive thing in the world, noting that the spread here is fairly large, remembering that the contract price is only 25 cents, and you're only getting 300 contracts traded on Friday of last week. So to me, not going to play this to the downside. You're just going to avoid if we take out this 522 or neckline. However you want to draw it in, you could use a trend line or just wait for the break of 522 to say, you know what, not interested in longs, because technically we should come back down to here. And as we've discussed in prior videos, what has this turned into, right? Look at all the touches we've gotten here. If this is just a dead cat bounce and we roll over one more time, this breaks and we're going much lower, likely into this sort of area in here, closer to $3.80, $4 maybe if you want to count that lower wick from right in here. The only saving grace, which I wouldn't even place too much emphasis on right at this point in time, would be the 200 SMA green line and blue line 50 SMA underneath. So it might act as a small little bump there, acting as support if the rollover happens. But to me, there's just a lot of risk in this general section of the chart right now, which I don't want to be involved in if, again, it breaks down here and leads to that retest of 489. So those are my thoughts here. Doesn't look too promising as it sits right now. We'll see what happens, on Monday. Obviously, on the upside, a recapture of 538 would be good, but we now have to contend with this, right? So 550. So whenever you get these fake breaks, you're essentially just making it harder, building more work for yourselves to do as upside, levels, right? You're just putting in more areas of resistance. So not so promising to the upside. You have the head and shoulders pattern to watch, and that's going to wrap up the video. If you enjoyed it or learned anything new today, let me know in the comments section or by giving the video a thumbs up. Don't forget our main channel is linked in the description. And all of that being said, I wish you a green trading week.